G. Welcome to the vibe. We're in the kitchen again. Today we are trying our hands at what we call curtido. We are doing this a day in advance because they say that it's good for it to sit at least a day in advance before you consume it. Now this is good for your traditional pupusas. They say it's also good with tamales and assorts of arrangements once it comes to food wise. This is the first time I make this, and as you can see in front of you guys, I have already pre-shredded some of the ingredients using my food processor yesterday, and that would be your cabbage, your carrots. I chopped the red onions in, they're calling it moon shape. The jalapenos I just picked from the garden. The recipe calls for one, but I went ahead and picked two. I'm gonna de-seed it and I think kind of shred it. I'm gonna leave it lengthwise and see what happens. The recipe also calls for red crushed peppers, so we'll see if I want to do one or two, because if not, then it'll be spicy. So to proceed moving forward, because I have everything kind of already, you know, pre-chopped, pre-shredded, this recipe is going to come together kind of really quickly. So it calls for 4 cups of water, 1 cup of vinegar, 5 bay leaves, oregano, she says is 2 tablespoons, sugar 2 tablespoons, salt 2 tablespoons, crushed pepper 2 tablespoons, and this is all the liquid to dry portion of it. This brine, which is what it's called, you let it sit for 10 minutes so everything can, I guess, emulsify together, and then you eventually mix in the vegetables into it, and this is gonna ferment in your refrigerator, and then from there it's ready to consume. But all of this, which is your brine, you can alter to your taste, so do taste it, and if it's too bland, you know, do add more as you need it. If you like it more acidic, then you add more vinegar. This is, you know, one of those recipes that you play with it, you know, to your taste. So we're going to go ahead and chop these jalapenos obviously off camera, and then we're going to turn you guys around and show you how all of this comes together. On my stove, as you can see on the right hand side, I do have some water that's already boiling, and that is going to be to kind of wilt, not cook, the vegetables, so it helps in the fermentation process. So let's go ahead and chop these jalapenos, and then I'll turn you guys around so I can show you how I put this together, hopefully fairly quickly. All right guys, I have you set up looking at this whole situation I got going on here, and then some. Don't look at my sink. So I have 2 bags of cabbage here. They were 2 kind of small heads. My intention is to just go ahead and use up this whole cabbage here. Nobody here in this house pretty much likes cabbage. I've never had my hands at doing slaw, so I think my husband will really actually like this. He's had this before. We've purchased it from a restaurant, so why not try and do it here at home? So we're gonna go ahead and pour this whole 2, well, they're not full, but we're gonna go ahead and pour this whole cabbage in here, and we're supposed to see the ratio of cabbage to carrots. It's not, the carrots are not supposed to overtake the cabbage, so we're not gonna end up using all of those carrots. So we're just gonna eyeball everything. So we're gonna pour the cabbage into the bowl. All right, so 2 bowls later, how much cabbage we have, and it doesn't even fit into this bowl. So we're gonna go ahead and put some carrots in here, and we are going to mix it and see if the ratio is good. So, you know, the lady that I'm kind of trying to follow, because at this point I'm following about 3 recipes all together, they don't give you, once it comes to the vegetables, they really don't give you too much of a ratio. Besides, the onions and the jalapenos. So I went ahead and chopped both jalapenos, and instead of putting two of these, I'm just gonna put one, because when I cut into one of the jalapenos, which is the one that was actually red with the actual, like, I like to call it scars on it, was really hot. Like, it's the smells made me actually cough. The second one was still green turning red, and it wasn't that potent. So I'm gonna put both of them and just, you know, omit down to just one I think it's tablespoon of the red crushed pepper, because that's exactly what, you know, this is. So we're gonna go ahead and just put some of this, you know, this carrots into it, and we're gonna give it a good toss. I'm using my hands, guys, they're clean, and we're gonna toss it around and see if there's a good ratio. And at that same time, I'm gonna go ahead, just to save time, I'm gonna put my onions in, and I'll show you what it looks like when I reach that consistency. All right, guys, so we're back. We mixed everything in, and this is what it's looking like. Beautiful. So we got the onions. I went ahead and mixed about 3 more hands, not completely full, but medium size of carrots, and I put in the jalapenos. And guys, this smells amazing, and I don't even eat any of this stuff, but it smells really good. So it is time to mix the brine. I actually have the water on medium heat right now because it already did a boil, so I'm just keeping it warm, or just at a heat, you know, like a nice consistency of heat. So I am going to mix the brine in this other container over here. Let's shimmy you guys a little bit this way so you guys can see. All right, in my measuring cup over here, I already have 4 cups of water. Into 4 cups of water per her, we are, or per the recipe, we are going to do 1 cup of vinegar. All right, so I added the vinegar, and I already kind of tasted. The acidity level is pretty decent. I think I could go a little more acidic. Now, mind you, this is not for me, but when we do our cucumber salads here, we like it more on the acidic level. But I'm gonna go ahead and mix everything else in first, and then I'll give it a final test, and then I'll see before I go ahead and add more vinegar first. So everything else is pretty much 2 tablespoons, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the recipe again that I told you guys in the beginning. So it's 2 tablespoons of oregano, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of crushed pepper. I'm gonna be doing just 1 because I added the 2 jalapenos. And then we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna wilt the vegetables while we wait, and then eventually we're gonna put all of this together. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I have my little measuring tablespoon. Oh, here she goes. She was hiding. All right, so we have oregano here. They were using this kind of whole, you know, little kind of crushed up oregano. Don't have oregano in my garden. I'm very sad. It was full, lush, and gorgeous, and then it just petered out. All right, so there is our oregano, our crushed pepper, we're just gonna do 1 of this. Oh, that smells spicy. Our sugar, our salt. I have to get a vessel for the salt. I have one over here, but I have to clean it. So now we're just gonna whisk all of this together. I'm somebody that likes to smell things. It smells good, guys. Now, mind you, we all know that it has to dissolve and marinate, which is why it's gonna have to sit for 10 minutes. But I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a quick taste ahead of time, just to know where we're at before the 10 minutes. And like I said, if I feel that it needs to be a little more acidic, I will add vinegar at the end of the 10 minutes. Ooh, don't want those chilies. It tastes pretty good. And it's not as spicy. So I think I'll leave it as is because it does have those 2 jalapenos over there. I don't want to add that extra tablespoon of crushed peppers. Alright, so we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes. I'll put a timer on my iPad and we're going to move on to the next step. Alright, so we are at the point that we are getting ready to just wilt the curtido. I have my hot water already turned off. This is not going to be on for that long. This is not going to be in the hot water for that long. This is literally just to wilt it ever so slightly. The recipe doesn't tell me for like literally the length of time it's supposed to be get in there. But when I watched the video, the person literally counts to like 10 seconds just to give you a gradual of, you know, the length of time it's going to be there. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to this process. Alright, so let's try and do this without, you know, having any accidents, because we all know I'm pretty accident prone. We're going to go ahead and grab our water. Hopefully this is enough to fill and cover. Good enough. And now the process is to just kind of grab yourself a spoon or a spatula and just rotate it around. You want to put a timer if you in your head want to count to 30 seconds or even a minute. And then once this process is done, you're supposed to immediately strain it and wash it underneath cold water. It's not supposed to be in here for that long because you're not looking to cook the cabbage and or anything else that's in here. You're just looking, once again, the word is called wilt. So let me complete this process because this process happens really quickly and I'll be with you shortly. Now, just to show you the consistency of what you're looking for, once you're pulling it out, draining the water if it's possible. Try to bring it to you close. Ooh, it's hot. This is what you're looking for. Nice and wilted. And then I have my sink water running. You're just gonna literally run it under sink cold water, or if you want to do it under ice water, you can do that as well. Alright guys, we're back. I agitated this already. It's been 10 minutes. I think it's acidic enough. Now I am using white vinegar. Some people do opt to use apple cider vinegar. You do you. I'm gonna leave it as is. For me, it's acidic enough. Now mind you, I'm not the one who's gonna be eating this. If he wants to alter it when he gets home, hopefully it's not too late, because at that point it's already going to be mixed and fermenting. So we'll see what happens. Once it comes to the process of this is already done. It wilted, as you guys can see. It's still crunchy, but not as you see. It's more pliable. My hands are clean, guys. It still has its color, but it's pliable to the point that you can now bend it. It has a give. So that's what you want. So at this point, we are going to mix our brine into here, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end, as usual. All right, guys, we did it. This is what she looks like. Oh, she's heavy. All right, so I'm gonna like tilt it so it's not gonna look like the brine is covering it, and you can see a little bit. Oh, almost lost it. You can see a little bit over here. Let me see if I can raise the camera so you can get a better overhead view. Yeah, guys are going for a ride. Give me a second. Whoop. There you go. So tilt it a little bit so you can see the brine there. Maybe I could have made a little bit more, because obviously I think this is probably gonna soak it up, but for the first time I think it's pretty decent. You want the brine to cover just a little bit more over your actual curtido, but like if I was like into fermenting and stuff, and if I had weights, I would, you know, put weights on it, but I don't have that. So at this point I'm okay with where this is at. I'm okay with, like what I said, the wilting process, the give of the actual cabbage, because that's the toughest thing in here. The second toughest thing is the carrots, but I'm okay where everything is at right now. I'm okay with the acidity of the brine and the spiciness level of the brine. But again, like I told you guys, this is not for me. I don't eat any of the stuff that's in here. This is solely for my husband. The next attempt would be the pupusas. Hopefully I can record that for you guys if they turn out for me, because this is in hopes what I'm making this for. And for anything else, if he wants to eat this with my regular with my regular Puerto Rican cuisine, with just regular, you know, white rice and anything else that I do, if this matches up with that, then he can eat that with this as well. He can eat this with with that, vice versa. But I hope it turns out. I will report to you guys in the description below to let you know if one, it turned out, and two, if he liked it. If he did, then I will incorporate this into my traditional, you know, Puerto Rican cuisine and my rotation. Because guys, I mean, it looks lengthy because obviously I'm doing a video for you guys just to show you that I'm learning different stuff, and you know, just for my own diary. But I'm happy to do these things for him, and just to keep his palate wanting more and awake. But other than that, guys, this is the video that I have for you guys. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one.